So today we're going to talk about how funny travel can be. And I really mean this. Tanya and I are going to be leaving in about a week and a half on another trip. And we were thinking about how hilarious some of the things are that have happened to us. Now, and I just want to share this with you and kind of get you into the mindset before you take your next trip as to how funny things can really be. I'm going to put this into two categories. First category is those things that are really funny kind of by accident. Well, they're all by accident. And the second one are those things that people normally wouldn't think are funny, but you can make them funny kind of the more you think about it. Okay, enough talking. Here we go. We recently went on a trip to Spain, and Tanya noticed this kid. I didn't see it, but noticed this kid who was, he's a young adult anyway. He's getting ready to get on one of those scooters, that you see them everywhere in cities now. And, they're like free, or you ride them all around. This kid, he's getting on the scooter, and he's trying to light a cigarette at the same time so that he's going to look really cool. Well, it doesn't work at all. And he sees he's starting to lose balance, so he just throws the cigarette out. Okay, minor little thing, but pretty funny. Then there was this other kid coming out of school. This kid's, I don't know, maybe 7 years old or something, and he's all excited about something. And so he's doing all these jujitsu moves. His dad's getting ready to pick him up, and he's all excited. He comes out there, and then he does like a kung fu kick, and he kicks this metal post, and then realizes that, not such a good idea, It's just little things like that. Then there are these scams sometimes that are really funny. Well, we were in Tarragona, Spain this last year. We got the famous bird poop on the shoulder scam. We did a video on that, and I'll leave a link to that. It's where you're walking along and you're walking under a tree. All of a sudden you find something on your shoulder and you think, oh my, what the heck is that? And then, just happenstance, there's a very helpful guy who's right next to you who then says, oh, you have bird shit on your shirt. Let me help you. And okay. And, he's trying to wipe it off and so forth. And, you better come over here to this fountain, which I'd seen before, and take your shirt off and clean it off. Well, I was going to do that. I started to do that, but the guy just kept following along. I thought, oh man, this isn't right. And then I noticed what was supposed to be bird poop on the back of my shirt. I don't know, Tanya described it as sort of like cookie dough or something. The point is, there's no way any bird could poop that much that was on the back of my shirt. Then we realized, of course, this is the famous bird on the shoulder bird poop on the shoulder scam. And it's usually done by teams of two people. So one guy's cleaning off the bird poop while the other person is busy stealing your pack or your purse or whatever you have there. In this case, there was only one guy working and there were two of us. Well, that's not a good ratio. And the guy was so inept that, I finally said, just go away. Don't need your help. It's just fine. And he did. And, we got away unscathed. That was just fine. Another time where something similar to that happened, we're in the subway in the metro in Paris. And, they always say, watch out for pickpockets in the subway. Well, okay, we're reasonably savvy tourists, so we're kind of looking out for that. I'm wearing a parka, and this guy is right next to me, and he is so clumsy. He's literally trying to reach into my coat pocket, and I just sort of slap him away. And then I just look at him, and then he just looks right at me, and we just don't say anything, and he doesn't act like he did anything wrong or anything. So then I go back and he tries it again, and I just bat him away. I couldn't believe it. You just had to laugh. This guy was so bad. We get off the subway train coach, and I watch, and he does this same thing to another guy coming onto the train, and gets his wallet. He wasn't as bad as I thought, or at least that other passenger wasn't quite as smart as we are. So that was that. There are other things that can be really hilarious. Traffic cops. We were in Tirana, Albania, watching these traffic cops at intersections try to make sense of this or create order out of this chaos of traffic. And they've got their paddles and they're blowing their whistles and they're saying go this way and go that way and stop. And everyone's completely ignoring them. It's as if they weren't even there. And then finally we watched this one cop, he just threw his hands up and said the hell with it and sort of went off to the side. Those things kind of happen. Parking, watching a parking lot. Now, you wouldn't think that this would be much fun. We were in Ljubljana, Slovenia, and we're on the balcony of our hotel room overlooking across the street this parking lot. It's a public parking lot, has a little reader outside, a little display that says how many parking spaces are still there. And we watched people. Were clearly at least 2 spaces that were not intended to ever be parked in. But they still had lines there. And just by looking at it, you could see there's no way in hell anyone is ever going to fit a car into these spaces. So we would just watch as people tried to bring their car in and maneuver back and forth and try to get it in there as we sit there having a glass of wine on our balcony. This was a beautiful evening's entertainment. We saw one guy who got in. It was so skinny. I thought, well, that guy's never going to get into that particular place. He did. There was no way he could get out of his door either side. And so he simply crawled out the sunroof or moonroof of his car and got out that way. Well, that was, humor where you find it. We were in Frankfurt at Christmas time, and we were watching the windows of a department store. It was up on about the 3rd floor or something like that. We're sitting there drinking our glühwein, and we watch these people as they interact. There was one couple. It was just a riot. This woman comes, and she's shopping with her husband or boyfriend, and she's trying on this beautiful coat, and oh, don't you think this looks great on me, and so forth. And then you just watch the guy. He takes a look, and he sees what the price is, and oh, no, we're not going to do this. And she kind of pouts a little bit, and then they walk away. I told Tanya, sure enough, she's going to come back. I mean, she's going to get that coat. And sure enough, then later she came back in there. She did the same thing again. And I think she tried on something that was even more expensive. Then she went back to the one I think she wanted in the first place, and she got it. It was just human nature. That was really fun. So, okay, those are things that are sort of naturally funny. Now, there are other things that maybe are not so funny in themselves, but you can make them funny. It's like, making lemonade out of lemons. Now, all of us probably know of friends we have or other people who, when they go on trips, when they come back, you can just about guarantee that something will have gone wrong. When you say, oh, how was your trip? They'll say, oh, we lost our luggage. Well, it wasn't we, the airline lost our luggage. Then the hotel group screwed up on our room. And then this happened, and then this happened. And it was like, I just know their trip is always a disaster no matter what. Our trips never seem to work out that way. And I'll tell you what we do is, okay, we try and look at the funny part of these things or how you can get around them. Okay, let me give you some examples. Okay. If your flight is delayed or canceled, okay, it's kind of a pain, but you can laugh about it. You can, instead of getting all upset with the gate agent or anybody else and just being a big pain, look, you're going to get on another plane. It may be tomorrow. It may not, may not be at all. Maybe not even go to where you wanted to, but it's kind of an adventure and it's sort of fun. So kind of laugh about that. Luggage that doesn't make it, sort of the same thing. Well, if you pack light, you never have to worry about that anyway. And by the time you get your luggage, which may be 5 days later, you're going to find, oh, I didn't need all that stuff anyway. Public transport going on strike. Well, okay, you're going to have to figure out a way to get from point A to point B. In Germany, the trains are on strike. For one reason or another, the buses are on strike. In France, it's the same sort of thing. So you just sort of figure it out and kind of laugh about it. Hotel reservation canceled. I was in Phoenix once years ago, and it was a terrible storm going on. Raining. It was, by the time we got there, it was at night, and everybody just wants to find a place to stay. I get to the hotel where I'm supposed to be staying, and they didn't have a reservation for me. Oh, what happened? I said, I know I have it here. Well, we don't. Things are all mixed up, and we sold your room. Well, do you have any others? No, we're all full. Well, where can I go? Well, they suggested a place and I found a place. So, there's always some way that that's going to work out. What happens if your hotel or wherever you're staying, Airbnb or whatever, is in maybe kind of a sketchy area? We have certainly found that, where we'll go to a place and, okay, maybe there's it's a red light district. There's a lot of brothels around. There's all sorts of characters, around in that neighborhood. Well, okay, you're not going to stay there forever. You don't live there. And, for one night, kind of enjoy it. They're out there just making a living too. It's kind of fun. Your credit card is denied. That one's not so funny. Make sure you have another credit card. That's all I can say. Lost wallet with your credit cards in it. This happened to us one time in Stockholm. I was really dumb and I left my wallet in the taxi. I had paid with a credit card and I just, you're in a hurry, you're tired, grabbing your stuff, and I left my wallet in the taxi cab. And I realized it just as soon as I get in the hotel, but whoop, that guy was gone. I went to the front desk. I told them what happened. They were so nice. They checked the taxi companies. No. And then they realized, okay, this was a gypsy cab. He didn't really, he's not registered. But, and I called the Stockholm police. They were wonderful. And sure enough, about 3 hours later, the guy came back with the wallet. Oh, human nature. Really, most people are good. Okay, other things that might happen that, let's see, food poisoning, or you break a leg or your ankle or something like that. Well, okay, those aren't fun things, but they happen. And, how would you deal with it at home? Okay, you go to the ER, emergency care, whatever you're going to do, and you get it taken care of. And just kind of laugh about what a great story you've got when you get back home. TSA catches you with something. Now, this is something that may not be so hilarious. It depends on what it is. Now, I'm not talking about the Brittany Griner situation, where you've got some stuff that you're going into Russia and they're looking for a reason to detain you. Well, going to a Russian prison for a while is not, it's going to be hard to make a laugh out of that one. But if it's stuff that's like the more common, like you've got liquids in there that are a little too much, or this or that, and they confiscate it. Well, okay, well, just laugh about it. These people are just doing their jobs, and it's kind of tedious for them. Well, kind of just laugh it off. You can make humor about that. Here's one last one, I guess: being left behind by your tour group or your ship. We've been on cruises where people have gone off on their own, didn't make it back to the ship in time, and had to figure something out. They made it to the ship at the next port or 2 ports away. Sometimes not so easy. If you're on an island somewhere, you're out in the South Pacific, you got to figure, well, okay, when's the next flight that's going to go to wherever the ship's going to be, and so forth. But you can make it fun. It's expensive, but it can be fun, and another great story for you to tell your friends when you get back, or to tell yourself and laugh about it. All right, so those are just some of the things that that you can be thinking about, is how funny travel can really be. And so in another 10 days, we're off to Europe, and we are purposely just going to kind of think of, or be on the lookout for hilarity and embracing the absurd. So watch for our next few videos, and we'll see if we can really find some funny things that we can share with you. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe and watch the video that I put in the trailer here at the end on getting scammed in Tarragona. I think you might think that's kind of funny. Okay, see you later. Bye-bye.